And now, another exciting episode of As the River Churns.
Ooh, that sounded exciting.
It sounded the same as it always does, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's been since last week.
Are you ready?
We're ready.
All right, let's turn it over.
I don't know if there's enough sand in there for today's show.
Well,
Ooh.
I don't know. That may be
I hope
true.
so.
Only looks like about 2 hours worth. Please don't turn your TV off.
If we're here for 2 hours, I feel sorry for the residents,
Oh,
that's
my
for
gosh.
sure. So,
We're really going to be scrounging for
well, happy
information.
Wednesday afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday afternoon.
I know.
Today is July the 8th. Can you believe it?
It's crazy.
We're in the dog days of summer. Isn't that what they call these?
Yep.
I guess with the weather the way it's been, we've kind of had dog days here. It was pretty warm, especially this weekend. It was
Yes.
brutally hot.
We're going to be into the 90s. Dogs are going to be lifting their legs. It's going to be that hot.
So they lift their legs when it's hot?
That's it.
I thought only the male dogs did that.
I didn't know that. Oh, learn something every day from you, Ken.
So it's great to have Ken on our show again today.
I know.
Actually, it is great to have you on the show today,
Thank
Ken.
you. Thank you.
So we're excited about that. So, okay. So let's see. It was last Thursday that we had our first successful
Radio and TV
it was
broadcast.
a radio broadcast for the first 10 minutes, and then we had the TV broadcast after that.
Now,
And so,
Tom, no one's run in yet, so I'm guessing you see us and hear us right now.
well, wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe they liked it better as the radio broadcast.
They probably did.
Double the trouble.
Right. And we want to thank Jennifer Aniston for sending in the selfie that she gave us for the picture on the
That was
screen.
great.
I thought that was great.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't like that very much, but
Probably not.
yeah, she would. I think even she would laugh at
I
something
think so,
like
too.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so do we have a trivia question
We
today?
do. Okay. And this is from a new person that has, well, not a new person.
I was going to say, this
but,
is not a new person.
this is someone that has never submitted one before.
Okay.
So,
And it's not something about the triumvirate?
no, it's not. It's not. And
Okay, no triumvirate questions
no,
again,
and
right?
I think Carrie Gustafson was a little upset that I gave extended time and gave
Yeah.
a hint to pick
Yeah.
it out. So I'm sorry, Carrie, one more time. I am very sorry I did that.
I'm not sorry, Carrie, because nobody was getting that answer unless we gave them a hint, so sorry about that.
So I won't do that again, but I can't say Tom might not offer an extension again, but I won't do it. So, okay, hopefully we won't need it for this one. The question is from Howard Hansen. So
Yay,
thank you,
Howard.
Howard. Yes. He stopped by today and he said, you know, I gave you a trivia question, you haven't done it yet. And I had to search through my piles of papers.
Yes,
But
and
I
you found
it. So thank you, Howard. Here it goes.
Here it is.
Well, first let's say the prize.
I was just going to remind you that we need to
The
do the
prize.
prize first.
It is going to be a wonderful river landing cooler with beers. There's
Beers?
beers. There's
I don't-
multiple beers.
I don't think it's plural. I think beer is just
It's
beer.
beer.
It's just beer. I don't
It's
think
just
there are
beer.
actually beers.
Okay, there's multiple beer. That doesn't sound right.
Well, that's because people don't say multiple in front of it.
Okay, there's several beer. No.
That's the way to say it. It's a cooler full of beer.
Cooler
Not
full
beers.
of beer.
You must be from Wisconsin. Are you from Wisconsin?
And I should know about beer from Wisconsin.
You should.
I really should. I mean, that's
And cheese.
a
Yeah.
state that drinks a lot of beer.
Well,
and
see, but up
eats a lot
there,
of cheese.
up there, you go down by the creek and you tap a barrel. Isn't that what you do up there?
Yep.
Yeah, that cooler will work well down by the creek. You'll just blend right in.
Well, sure. Exactly. Camo.
Okay, so let's get to the
Okay.
question.
The question is, what is the oldest national monument in the U.S.?
Oh.
And I've checked it out. The answer was correct. So what is the oldest national monument in the U.S.?
And it's
it's
not-
not what I thought it was.
It's not Ken Massey.
I thought
It
it was
is-
Howard Hansen.
And And it's not Howard Hanson.
It's not Howard. Ken, how could you say such a thing? After I just said it was you.
But I thought it's a great question.
I'll get him back
and-
for you, Howard. I know you're not here to defend yourself. I'll
That's
get
right.
I'll get him back.
That's right.
Howard will get back at me all by himself.
So if you have the answer, we need you to call Michelle right now. 336-389-4103. The line is open. 336-389-4103. Oh, that was a false alarm there.
False alarm.
No.
Okay, so she's not running out of the room yet, so you
She's
still
not
got time to
running yet.
call. If you,
Yes.
Yeah, look it up real quick and send, go ahead and call.
As soon as I Googled it, it popped instantly. So I know y'all can find
Yeah,
the
but we
answer.
are not, we're telling them not to cheat, right?
Yeah. Wink,
I mean,
wink.
have you noticed Lisa's giving hints, she's telling people to cheat? I mean, I don't know what's happened to you.
It's the beers.
The COVID has really affected you in a bad way, I think.
It's the beers.
Is it the beers? It's the
If you
beers.
use Google, we only have to give you an extra tenth of a second, though. That's
Okay, well, let's
Okay.
jump into our coronavirus stuff. So, any of you that tuned in earlier, you might have seen me. I was frantically working when I had just gotten the new numbers, and I was trying to kind of get some quick calculations together. But so remember, our numbers come from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. This is as of July 8th. The last one that I was comparing it to that I had reported on the show was July 2nd. So it's been 6 days. So in those 6 days, what has happened? So in those 6 days, we have actually completed an additional 125,562 tests. So we're running 20,000 tests a day now. So it's really, North Carolina is cranking it up. Of those 125,562 tests, 9,168 were positive. So that's 7.3%. So down a little bit. We're starting to see a little inching down, I think. We were at that 8% mark, so kind of cringing down a little bit here, a little bit. Well, actually, we were at 6.9%. I take that back.
And they're wanting us to
So-
get closer to the 5%,
5% is
right?
what we're shooting
That's
for,
what
right?
we're aiming for.
5% is what we're shooting for. And then overall, we've had over 1 million tests done. It's almost 1.1 million tests that have been completed in North Carolina, and 77,310 positive tests, which is almost exactly 7%. The number of deaths, we've had 50 deaths since last Thursday. So not as many as maybe what we've had in the past, which, no deaths are great, but, if we can see that slowing down, that would be a good sign. Unfortunately, though, we have seen an increase in the number of hospitalizations. We're at 994, so that's 82 more than what we were last week. So we're seeing the hospitalization rates starting to go up. And that's a little scary, to be honest with you. We're still not at capacity, which is the good news, but, we don't want those numbers to keep going up. So, again, remember the 3 W's, which we have said enough on this show that you should know what those are. Forsyth County has 3,450 cases, or has had 3,450 positive cases since the start of this. That's 318 more than what it was last week. Guilford is 3,275. That's 329 more than last week. Durham is at 4,182, which is 352 more than last week. Wake jumped up 1,000 cases between last week and this week. They're at 6,471. And Mecklenburg County, 13,489 cases of, and that's 1,686 cases more than what they were last week. So, still seeing those numbers come up. For Forsyth and Guilford, that's about a 10% increase over what we were last week at this time. And then when you kind of turn to the nursing home and residential care facility numbers, we have 6,029 of the 77,000 cases. 6,029 are from nursing homes and residential care facilities. That's 262 more than what we were last week. But there is a positive here, which I was very kind of pleased to see. We are at 799 deaths in North Carolina in nursing homes and residential care facilities. That is only 6 more than what we were last week, and that is a significant amount of reduction. As a matter of fact, now the 799 total nursing home and residential care facility deaths as compared to the total, which is 1,441, is 55%. And remember, we were 60% for a long time, and then we started seeing last week, or maybe the week before, it's starting to just starting to inch a little bit lower. And I don't know if that's a good sign or bad sign. It's a good sign for the nursing home side of things, but it might also just be a reflection of that we're seeing a lot more of it outside of nursing homes and retirement communities. So anyway, the other thing that has come up, though, is that the number of nursing home and retirement communities or residential care facilities that have had or are in the middle of an outbreak has risen by 19 over what it was last week. We were at 192 last week, and we are at 211 this week. So it's 19 more that have had an outbreak. And, it's more prevalent out there, so we're seeing more of that. As a matter of fact, you all, you're going to get this tonight, but we have unfortunately had our 5th positive case. It's another staff member in the golf and grounds area, and he is fine. He's having very, 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 very minor symptoms, but decided to go ahead and get tested after this weekend. He wasn't feeling as well on Sunday evening and got tested on Monday when he went to the urgent care, and we got the result back today that he was positive. The good news is that he really has, he works outside. Those guys, all the golf and grounds guys work outside. They usually work pretty much independently of each other, and even if they are working together, they're not working very close to each other usually. So we've traced that back, and we just, there has been no resident involvement with this particular employee, so we're not too concerned about this. We've talked to Guilford County like we always do, and Guilford County Health Department has been great working with us on these types of situations. And they said, based on the circumstances, they don't feel a need or that it warrants any kind of testing to be done at this point. So we're not going to be doing any additional testing at this point. And just we'll monitor our team for any symptoms they might have, if they have them. But we just don't think that that there's much of a chance that he exposed anybody. And for all we know, he got it this weekend because he didn't see symptoms until Sunday night. And, we all know this was the 4th of July weekend, and, and I'm not saying this about this particular employee, but, there was a lot of people that were going to family parties and different things. So you all will have that in your boxes. There'll be a letter coming out tonight from me, which we are required to do, and we want to do this. We are being very transparent about this. We have been very blessed as a community because even though we've had 5 cases, they've all been staff members. They've all been confined to that staff member. All have gotten it outside of the campus here. That hasn't been something that's been transmitted here on campus. And we have not had any residents that have come down with this that we know of at this point. So again, really good things from that perspective. But we mentioned this before. For the sake of repetition, I'll mention it again. We know that we're still doing our best to try and keep it out of River Landing. But we know with residents going out on a regular basis, with staff going in and out, we're not going to keep it out of there. We haven't been successful in keeping it completely out of here. And so we just need to manage it when it does come in here. And fortunately with our staff, every single one of the 5 that have had it have been so great about letting us know and recognizing that there might be an issue before it became an issue and staying off our campus. And so I've been really pleased with our team. Our team is really concerned about bringing it to the campus, and so we're very blessed that we've got a lot of team members that really are being smart about what they're doing and thinking twice about going into places. So it's good. Wearing your mask, wear your mask, and that's the other thing too is we're requiring masks here on campus. And that is the huge part of the infection control measures that we have in place. And so wearing the mask is the number one thing. We all know that. And it's, you wearing a mask protects you, but you're also protecting the other person. And so, but it doesn't work well unless everybody's wearing a mask, so that we're all protecting each other. This is not a time, Ken, you said this before, but this is not a time when we need to be thinking about ourselves. We need to be thinking about other people as well. And I'm going to go on a soapbox here for just a second, but, I was talking to our department head team about this last week. I have been to a couple places now where, the governor has mandated that if you're in a public place, you should be wearing masks. Mm-hmm. I've been to a couple stores, over the weekend where I went in and actually asked one of them, I said, why are you not requiring people to wear masks? Because half the people in there were not wearing masks. And they said, well, we're not requiring the customers to wear masks. And I said, well, I think that's a mistake. The governor has said that everybody should be wearing masks in public places. Mm-hmm. And honestly, you've lost my business until you actually change that policy. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if we shouldn't all be doing that. We should be complaining when we go into a place and they're not taking it seriously about everybody wearing a mask. And we should tell them that we're not going to patronize them if they're not following the governor's rules. And again, I'm going to be on my soapbox again. The rights thing about wearing a mask, I'm not buying it. And I'm just going to say it. I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I'm not buying it. You know what? You can't go into a public place and smoke a cigarette.
That's right.
So how is this any different than that?
It's not.
To me, it's not. Right. And that's my personal thing. That's not, but right. I don't get that. And look, the only exception might be is if somebody really has a health problem that they can't wear the masks, and that could be like an exception. But then I'll say, well, if you have a health exception and you're not supposed to be wearing a mask, why are you in a store? Why are you doing anything that would put you at risk when you already know that you have this condition, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I realize that that's an easy thing to say because I'm not in that situation, right? So I get that. But, my point is, I think that we are all doing our best here in our community about wearing our masks when we're outside of River Landing, staff and residents alike. And we should be putting a little pressure on the places that we patronize to make sure that they're doing it. And I have always said that I think the governor, if he really wants to put some mustard behind this a little bit, should be fining businesses that aren't requiring people to wear masks in their businesses. And I'll tell you what, they start doing that, I can tell you the businesses will take it a lot more seriously. So, sure. And some of the businesses are doing that. Mm-hmm. I know at Costco, you cannot get into Costco without wearing a mask, and that's great. And they're not. I use them as an example. There's other ones besides them, but they're a great example of that. So think twice, please, about that. You go into a place, if they're not wearing masks, ask for the manager, say something to them, and say, you know what, you're not keeping me safe by allowing this, and are you going to allow smokers in too? If they give you that thing about rights thing, ask them if they're going to allow smokers in too, because it's the same thing.
Right.
Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Sorry, but I just feel like sometimes we need to be able to, we need to, if we really believe in this thing, we need to stand strong with this.
Sure.
So okay,
I put some extra soapbox sand in here just in case you did that. So
well,
we're good.
It's a good thing
So
we got 2 hours, right?
We're protected.
Okay, enough said.
Oh. Tom, we did have a couple people ask, can you give an update again on the sales tax?
Oh, sure.
You've done that a couple times, but if you could kind of let us know where you're at now.
Yeah, because not everybody gets to see every show, and I realize that. So where I have been told we are with the sales tax thing is that you all did a wonderful job reaching out to Michael Garrett, who is our state senator representative for this area. And a lot of you, which I was really pleased about, you went beyond Michael Garrett. You were contacting other senators. You were contacting the U.S. senators and congressmen, and you were bringing in all of the power and might of our Congress and senators here. So really pleased about that. So what happened was, when they were in session, when the General Assembly was in session, what was that now? Probably a couple weeks ago now. Mm-hmm. This got into a bill, and then it got sent back to committee, and then it got back, and it went around quite a bit. And in the end, what happened was it got left in committee, is really where it got left at. So So we're in limbo, and you might say, well, that's not good news. Well, actually, I think it is, because they haven't taken action on it, which is really good for us, because that gives our trade association, Leading Edge North Carolina, an opportunity to continue to work on the General Assembly and the representatives that are in this particular committee. And so they have asked us to, as the administrators and executive directors, to let residents know that you did a great job, and we are on hold at this point. They don't want you to contact anybody. Just please kind of put the foot on the brake at the moment, and that there might be a time here in the near future where we might ask you to do something like that again. But the General Assembly doesn't. They don't reconvene again until early September. So that would be the earliest that would even get into any kind of voting format. There is a feeling with our Leading Edge North Carolina folks, our trade association, that they will not have a chance to be able to do this because they feel like they're only going to be in session for a couple of days. They don't feel like that it's probably going to get out of committee and get voted on even in September. So honestly, the longer it goes, I think the better in some ways, because again, it gives us opportunity to keep getting our feet underneath of us as we work through this. So that's kind of the update on that. So right now, I think things are just on hold, and we'll just have to see how that pans out. So, okay.
Okay. The dining program, just wanted to talk a little bit about that. Our team here, our dining team, has been doing an amazing job, Tom. I mean, they have been doing a super job. We've opened up the overlook in the clubhouse, the Water's Edge in the main building, and of course the bistro. So we've come a long ways from when we were shut down for a couple months and it was pickup only.
Right.
So now we have options of dine-in, also still have the pickup options for folks that are not comfortable yet coming down or maybe sick or quarantine. But looking at some things that we can work on here is we're looking at starting the food forum back up again.
Right.
So Joseph and I have been talking about that. So we're looking at August, going ahead, we're going to broadcast it, because we know, even if we go into phase 3, we know we're not going to be able to open up this multipurpose room and have hundreds of people again.
No, probably
we
not.
know.
It might be quite a while.
It might be a while for
that.
that. So we're going to plan on, in August, having a food forum, but we're going to do it broadcasting it. And what we'll ask you all is, if you have questions for the dining team, you'll submit them to us the day before, and they can review your questions on the show. And just talk to you about some of the things that they're looking at doing, and just a great way for our team to be able to share with you. They're all so passionate and excited about what they do here. It's neat just to be able to listen to them, and they get really excited when they talk about the food part. And James, our executive chef, he is so creative, and hopefully you all have gotten to try a lot of his specials that he's designed for all of the dining venues here. We're very fortunate right now. We probably have, just on our regular menus, 60 to 70 plus menu items between our 3 venues. And then on top of that, that's not the only thing we do. We add weekly specials. It's crazy. I think, Tom, you and I have talked to our sister communities and other communities in our area, and there's nothing that even compares to where we're at this point. So we're just really proud of our team, of where they've brought us.
Yeah, we really have about, and this is a little bit of a guess, but I would say about 75% of our normal menus are available to residents at this point. We know the Wayfarer doesn't have that. We haven't opened that yet.
Right.
So that's a piece of it. We know that the clubhouse has a combined menu for lunch and dinner, and so someday we'll go back to having a separate lunch menu versus a separate dinner menu.
Yep.
And then, of course, we know right now that the hot bar and the salad bar, the serve yourself areas, we just cannot open those.
Right.
That's just, it's too much
Just
risk
for
of
safety right
contamination
now,
at this
we
point.
just can't.
So, but I would say 75% of our choices are there.
Right.
And you said it, we are very fortunate, and that's just the choices. And then when you add in the weekly specials, Lisa, we were talking about this. We figured it out. We had 9 weekly specials between the 3 dining venues this week. Do you know how many communities on a regular basis, when there isn't COVID-19 going on, have 9 entrees that they can choose from, that residents can choose from?
Right.
It's not happening out there, folks. It doesn't happen.
Right.
What we have here is very special. I know you get used to having things a certain way,
Right,
and you
right.
like the choice, and you like the variety. You've got it, and it's not going to get any more than what it is. I can
Right,
promise you that. Other than what we've said that we don't have open at this point, we'll
Sure.
eventually open those. But we are getting pretty close to having our full dining options open at this point. And it's hard because our dining team really is working their butts off to try and provide this kind of stuff for our residents. And quite honestly, I don't know how to say this. I think I struggle a little bit because our dining team has taken a little bit of beating from a few residents.
A handful.
A few residents
Yes,
who have just been
yes.
beating on them constantly. And it is so undeserved and so out of place. And I recognize that the circumstances that we have now with COVID-19 are hard on residents. I get it. It's hard on residents, it's hard on staff, it's hard on everybody.
Right.
And, Ken, you can jump in here, but you know, when you are limited in what you can do and your life is not the same as it used to be, and, you have to, it's hard to make reservations to get into the dining room sometimes. It's, and it's just not as easy as it can be.
Sure.
The hairdressers and the hairstylists, it's not, you got to be separated from them. You can't just go out and eat in a restaurant somewhere. You can't just go do things like you used to. You can't travel. You can't go visit.
Right.
You can't go, to California and see your family. I mean, because of the, so
Right.
there's a lot of things you can't do.
Right.
And so sometimes those frustrations manifest themselves into what you have some control over. And what do you have control over? You're dining, right? You're
Right.
eating. And
It's
so
one of
we
the
see
things that is open here.
Right.
So that's where sometimes
That's
things
where
get
it
funneled
is.
into. Yes.
And, I get that.
It's also one of the few pleasures that we still have.
Yes.
And so
You're
people
right.
pack a lot of their
You're right.
meaning into that mealtime.
Right.
So I get it.
Absolutely.
And let me make a suggestion to you. I think we have a lot of very nice residents here who, if they get a meal served to them that's not to their liking, they don't want to make a scene or they don't want to say something to their server about.
They don't want to hurt that server.
They don't want to
Make
hurt
them
that
feel
server
bad.
by saying,
Right,
hey, you know
right.
what? Maybe this cut of beef wasn't the best.
Wasn't the
or
best.
maybe it
Sure.
wasn't cooked exactly the
Sure.
way you wanted. And so my suggestion to you is, it's okay to say to your server, this isn't what I was really hoping it would be.
Absolutely.
Can I get something else or can I order something different?
Absolutely.
It's okay to do that. It
That's
really
harder to
is.
fix 2 or 3 days after.
Yeah, and then when they come to
It's-
Joseph and say, you know
Right.
what, my steak was really tough three
Right,
days
right.
ago. Well, did you say something to the server?
Right.
Well, no, I didn't want to bother them.
Right. We can't
that's-
fix it
yeah,
after the
so,
fact. Yeah.
So if you have a concern,
Mm-hmm.
address it there. And, you all know the right way to say something and not the wrong way. I mean,
Right.
don't throw your steak on the floor and stomp
Sure.
all over it and yell and scream at the server, because the server's doesn't have anything to do with that anyway.
Right.
But, there's a way to be able to do this and say, the meal's not quite to my liking, can I change it and do something else?
Absolutely.
Or maybe this is not what I expected it to be.
Absolutely.
And it's
Yes.
okay to do that. It's really okay to do that. And maybe that'll help a little bit. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yep. And we've had a lot of you also share really good comments. And that part we share with our team as well because they need to hear that. Sometimes we get so focused on the negative piece that we forget 100 people just gave us a attaboy.
Yeah.
And that one person, we focus so much on that one person that just brought us down from that 100 others. And that's something we need to work on.
But that's a
Yes.
natural desire to want to please
It is, 'cause we wanna
everybody.
please.
They want to please everybody.
Yes.
And it's really,
Yes.
it's very hard to do that. It's actually
It
probably
is.
impossible to do that.
I know. Yep.
But there's a desire to want to do that.
Absolutely.
So,
one of those ways of pleasing people too, we've talked about doing an online dining comment card. Because right now, to be able to put the papers and pencils out, I think we've been doing that, but we're looking at taking that back because we don't want multiple people touching multiple things. That's kind of like you're using joint items, like a
Yes.
salt and pepper shaker.
Right.
So we're looking at going to an online dining comment card.
Yeah.
That gives folks an opportunity to share some of the great things. We also like to know what's a really good menu item. That's a great way to be able to do that. So we know, hey, that item we really need to keep on the menu.
Right.
But if we get a lot of comments about something that hasn't been going well, Joseph looks at that. I mean,
Yeah.
if there's something that's not working well, then he pulls it off there.
So the comment cards help him look at trends.
It does.
And see what people are
honestly,
liking and
it
not
does.
liking. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So be looking for that. We will use Care Merge for that. So that's something that Cindy and Joseph will be working on.
Lisa, I just want to add on, we talked a little bit to resident council about this yesterday. And,
We did.
And they gave us some really good suggestions
They did.
yesterday.
They
It
did.
was
And
very
that,
good.
I think, was one of theirs, actually, an online comment card.
Yes.
And one other thing they suggested, which I think is great, what if we have where residents can vote on one of the weekly specials?
Yes.
So residents would turn in what they would like to vote for that weekly special, and then we highlight it that next week. So in the bistro, it might be, like this past week, I think it was fried chicken.
Right.
So that was great. That was from residents saying, can you put fried chicken on as a special one day?
Yeah.
So that's what Joseph did. So looking at doing that a little more formal and putting a plan together where you'd submit your ideas for the next week, and Joseph would pick one of those and run it as a special for the week. So I thought that was a great idea. Thank you for the council to kind of help lead us that way.
Yeah, it was good.
Yes.
We
Yep.
really appreciated that.
Yep.
I grew up in
absolutely.
Cajun country.
Cajun.
And so I've been to lots of Cajun
Cajun.
festivals, yep. And I've had a lot of jambalaya, but none better than here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's definitely one of my top
That's-
threes
that's
here.
awesome.
Oh, it's great.
I really love our Reuben here that's in the bistro. We don't get to eat in the other
Right.
dining room, so we have to talk
Right.
about bistro items,
Right,
right?
right.
So the Reuben is one of my favorites, but we can't eat the Reuben, right?
Oh.
Because of the bread, right? I mean, I guess we could eat just the meat out
We
of it,
could eat
but.
the meat, yes.
So, but I love having Kat make me a salad, and, I can vary the
Well,
stuff
sure,
that's
you
in
make it
there.
any way you want, right?
Kat makes it any way you want to make
Sure,
it, so
sure.
it's great. And a lot of times I'll get a little piece of salmon on it, or I'll have, we've been doing the Cobb salad a lot lately.
Mm-hmm. That's been a
Love
good
the
one.
Cobb salad, the Asian salad, the chicken
Right.
Caesar salad. I mean,
There's always a salad of the week.
Did I mention the jambalaya?
no. Have you had the jambalaya lately? So there's a lot of really good food here.
Oh, there
you just
is.
have to, you just have to
Absolutely.
decide what's best for you.
Right, right.
So.
Okay, let's see. We are still working on our multipurpose room AV system. So obviously we're up and running good today. Last night the program went great. We had a presenter here, a musical program. But we're still working on some things. But with that, we're excited to say this week, and I'm looking over at Brian because he told me this is going to happen. So let's hope it is. The DVD series Wednesday night and Friday night were a thumbs up. That's a go for tonight and for Friday. Saturday night movies, another thumbs up. Bingo is back. Woohoo!
Bingo!
Bingo is back. So that is Thursday this week, right? Okay, Thursday this week.
That would be tomorrow, Lisa, yes.
Yes. The days run together. I've had some beers.
No, they're all closed up.
I've had
You're
some
okay.
beers, apparently. Oh, I'm never going to live that one down, am I?
Which
Probably
one?
not.
Beers.
Which one?
Beers,
Bench-
yeah.
booze?
It's kind of like deer, isn't
Booze,
it? There's only-
beers.
I still like YouTube.
That's right, she did the YouTube, didn't
Yeah,
she?
YouTube.
YouTube.
I've been yelled at though, Ken.
Okay.
I've been told not to give Lisa a hard time on the air, so.
Oh,
Yeah, so
We're not.
well, that's nice.
No, we're kind of laughing with her,
Yes, we
not
are.
against her, right?
Whoever told him that, thank you. But I don't know if it's going to work, so you might need to say it again.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, also, I'm going to look at Ken on this one because he didn't tell me yay or nay. Vespers?
Yes, if everything works.
Okay.
Yep.
So be looking for Vespers on Sunday.
Sunday at 4.
Sunday at
Sunday
4.
4.
Okay. I also want to take an opportunity to thank Tom Burleson. He was kind of he and his chorus group, kind of our guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Going to have to say it.
Yeah.
We kind of put him out there and be like, try our
Let's
system.
try it, right? Yeah.
So I want to thank him and his team for doing that because that took a lot of courage to be able to put yourself out there and do that. And everything I heard about it was positive comments. People really enjoyed it. And as we get working with our system and we get better at how to mix voices and all that good stuff, once our whole system is up and going, we're going to have to do it again.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I'm hoping you're up for it, Tom, because we'd like to see a program again. Give us a little more time to work out some kinks.
And hopefully by then, we'll have like the lights
Exactly,
going and,
exactly.
you know,
And have our soundboard where we can
Yeah.
really hit those voices great, so.
yeah, you know, we were asked to talk a little bit about what we have done here, Lisa. And,
Yes.
you know, there's been a lot of changes here, and it's kind of hard to sit here and explain what's done. You almost have to
It
come in
is.
and see
It
for
is.
yourself. But, you know, I will just point this part out, and that is, I'm looking out, and I think you probably can see the lights here
I think Brian's
on
gonna
the
try to zoom in
stage.
a little bit.
So let's see if Brian
Give him
can
a
do that.
second
You
here.
can see the
Yep.
lights on the stage, which shine down on the stage and shine out.
Right, right.
And then what you probably can't see is that there are also 2 rows of lights that are out in the audience area, one behind the other,
Right.
shining towards the stage. So when we start doing, all right, well, he's still
Oh,
doing it. I'll
okay.
just keep talking.
Oh,
So he's
maybe you
still
see-
showing it.
You might see Cindy right now. She's our only audience member. So,
Go ahead and
So-
keep mansplaining.
Yeah, I'm trying to, mansplaining. So, yeah, so I'm doing a really good technical job of what this is, right? But, I mean, a really sophisticated light system. You know, we've upgraded the cameras that are in here
Right,
so that we
right.
have better picture quality.
Absolutely.
We've upgraded all
Upgraded
of
the
the
microphones.
microphone systems. And then the system, the audio system throughout the actual room itself is much more clear
Oh,
and
100%.
audible.
Yes.
You know, Lisa, there's a lot of stuff that we are doing in the back room that we
Yes,
couldn't do
yes,
before.
right.
What you can't see is I'm looking right at Brian right here now. And Brian's, we have a roll-out table that's kind of like a control board
Mm-hmm. It
that's
is.
on there. And he can actually, I think he's going to show himself doing a viewing screen, and it's a control board, so
It is,
he can,
it is.
eventually we'll be able to mix sound and lights and
Right,
everything from
right.
there and
All
really
from that.
be able to do some really sophisticated stuff. So yeah, so now you can see Brian in your picture
and we used to have to be stuck away in that mechanical room doing all this.
Yeah. Yes.
With what we could do. And so now to be able to actually have a table like that we'll run the boards on, everything that he's doing right now is run off of an iPad.
yeah.
So the whole system, lighting and sound, at some point, all of it will be tied in together, and he could sit right there and do both at
Yeah.
the same time. And be watching so he could really see what the angles are and all that good stuff. So it's really an exciting upgrade.
And Lisa, the TVs that were already in the room,
Yes.
they're operational now,
They
so
are,
that we
so-
can, people in the back of the room can actually watch the TVs if they can't see everything that's
Absolutely.
happening on
Yes.
the stage.
Before, we could only do what we were projecting.
Yeah.
And now, it's even live performances, all can come out on
Yeah.
those TVs. It's pretty amazing.
So it's really, we really have taken a giant step upward
Yes.
as far as
Yes.
sophistication. And when you take a giant step upward in sophistication, then you have to bring the sophistication of the people that are using the equipment up.
Right, right.
And, you
It's
know,
a
that's
learning curve.
That's a challenge when you have people like
It-
me and
it
when it
is.
comes to, you know, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
But fortunately, we have residents and staff members here that
We
are a
do.
lot more knowledgeable about that
We
kind of
do.
stuff.
And Brian and Cindy have already started doing some training on a few resident groups.
That's great.
I believe the groups that are showing the DVDs, all that kind of stuff, he's already hit a few people there. So thank you, residents, for being willing to tackle this new system. I mean, it's
Yes.
kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
So I appreciate
And
you
they're excited
you
about
doing
it.
that.
They're
They are
excited
very
about it.
excited.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So, okay,
So
so
good stuff.
I think we explained that very well.
I think
You did?
so. I think we did.
I think we did.
You had
Yep.
some splaining to do.
I had some explaining to do.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, we have a lot of questions today.
Oh,
so
okay.
let's jump into
Let's
this.
get on it. Let's get on it.
Can you explain again the discount on the food in the clubhouse restaurant? So that's the Overlook. So as a reminder, the food items on the actual menus, those are the menus that don't change. So I'm not talking about the specials. The actual menu item, you will get 20% off that menu. Now, the specials that we run, which might be the burger of the week, maybe it's a fish of the week, different things like that, that's already reflecting the discounted price because it's just a special menu. So they're not putting a higher price on that. That's already with your discount. There's a note of that on Care Merch that says this reflects your discount. And going forward, we're going to add a little line on that, on the actual special menus, just as a reminder, that price already does reflect your discount. There's been some confusion there, so I think we're going to just clarify that a little bit and put it right on the menu for you. So thank you for that question. Of course, the alcohol, there's no discount on that. That's not our choice. We can't do the discount on that.
Yeah.
So.
And Lisa, I don't know if this was a question or not, but while we're up at the clubhouse, I got asked this again today, so I want to just kind of clarify it one more time.
Sure.
So the bar itself is not open. We cannot legally open that up because the governor has said the bars cannot be open.
Right.
So
right.
somebody can't go up and grab a drink and go out onto the veranda and watch golfers. As much as we would like that to happen, that cannot happen.
Right, right.
But if you're coming there and your table's not quite ready and you're going to be eating there and you want to grab a drink and go out on the veranda because you're going to be eating there, guess what? You can do that.
Yes.
Because you're actually eating there. It's not considered a bar then at that point.
Right.
And of course, then if you're already seated in the clubhouse and you order a drink, you can do that too.
Sure.
Because they're serving you at the table.
Sure.
But, I know there's still a little bit of confusion
Sure.
about that. I got asked about that today, and I thought, you know what, we ought to just talk about that one
Yep.
more time
Yep.
today.
Absolutely.
So.
Okay. If this is a mask question, Tom, so I thought this was a good one.
Okay.
If I am dining in the clubhouse or the water's edge, do I have to wear my mask to the table when I come and when I leave? So that is a great question. We have asked that you wear your mask anytime that you're in public here, and especially going into dining venues. So we've also are doing some more education with our dining staff that you really need to wear your mask to the table.
Yes.
Because you're passing by people as
Right.
you're walking in. So it is important you wear your mask. Don't take it off yet until you get to your table. And for eating and drinking, we know you have to take your mask off. But when you're traveling to and from your table, put your mask on.
Yeah.
And we're reiterating that with our team as well. They're probably going to start to mention that to folks.
Right.
To go ahead and keep your mask on when you're traveling like that.
Well, or even, honestly, if you're at a table and you have to use the restroom, you need
Same
to put your
thing.
mask on to go to the restroom and then come back. I mean, it's
Anytime
just,
you're coming and leaving that
because
table.
it's a public area.
It
So
is. It
obviously
is.
you can't eat and drink with a mask on. So
Right,
those
right.
areas, we understand that. But
Right.
really, the rest of the time, you should have your mask on.
Absolutely. So if our team asks you that, please don't get after them. They need to be reinforcing that.
Right.
So.
All they're trying to do is protect you.
Yep, absolutely. Is it okay to visit with people at different tables when I'm dining at the water's edge or the overlook at the clubhouse? So that kind of ties in with this mask question. And I think in our initial letter, we did say not to be kind of socializing amongst the tables. We have some social butterflies here, Tom.
We got quite a few, I think.
And that's kind of who we are. That's our community.
Yeah, sure.
Unfortunately, it's different times. So best practice would be to not do that. Just going to have to say that. Best practice right now is not to go from table to table without your mask on, talking to people.
Well, I think what that's going to do is you're going to have, if you go and do that, some tables may be receptive to that, but there are going to be other tables where they're going to be very upset with you coming
Yes,
anywhere near their table
yes.
because they're going to feel like that's not what you should
That's
be
a
doing.
good point, because this person actually submitted the question because they're not comfortable with it.
Right.
And they didn't want to tell a person, can you please
Yeah.
not talk with me at the table while I have my mask off? Because they're exposed to that. So people don't like to say, I don't want to talk to you right now, or
Right.
don't talk to me. It's uncomfortable. So just keep that in mind, that not everybody wants to visit at a table like that.
Right.
So that's a good point. Okay, this is another good one, and I don't think we've ever addressed this one on the show.
Okay.
Who is responsible if I am teeing off on number 8 and my ball hits a car and causes damage?
Yeah.
He's not talking about you, Tom, this person.
No, I don't. I only hit the hybrids and the clubhouse and the houses. I never
Okay.
hit, I'm not good enough to hit it to the road, so I never have to worry about hitting the car there, so.
How about Ken? Have you ever, Ken?
I've hit, yes, I've hit on the road.
Have you? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you've never hit a car?
No.
Okay.
So I think there's two things here, but let's answer the first question directly.
Okay.
So who is responsible if I'm the golfer?
If you're the golfer.
And I hit a golf shot that breaks a window or hits a car or vehicle?
Sure.
I am responsible.
So the golfer's
The
responsible.
golfer's responsible for their shots, and, you know, that's just the way it is. So if you know that you've hit a car, you need to take responsibility and be accountable for that. That's just part of it. There's no insurance here at River Landing that covers that. We don't have insurance for that. That's for you to have to be able to take care of.
Everybody I've seen waits, if there's a car coming, waits.
That's a good point.
That was going to be my second point on
Okay.
number 8, which is, you know, when you're getting ready to tee off,
Sure.
you might want to make sure that there's no cars that are coming right
That
there
makes sense.
before you hit.
Sure.
You can easily, the nice thing is you got great visibility, you can see who's there and who's not. And I think a lot of our golfers can already do that, if I'm not mistaken. I've been told that they do that,
Okay,
so.
that's great.
We could also put up a sign that said golf ball danger zone as people are driving in.
Oh, okay. Another different question. I noticed on Care Merge directory that Dana Moore's title is concierge. What does a concierge mean? Why does she have that title? Well,
She
Dana,
gets to drink all the beers.
say concierge after you've had a lot of beers.
Yeah, say that 3 times fast,
I don't know how
right?
that would come out. So Dana, of course, is the person that's at our front desk Monday through Friday during the day. So I think most of you probably know Dana. Dana does a little bit of everything.
She does.
And that's kind of how she gets the title of the concierge. She, if you call and you have a question, she can either get you the resource for it or she'll transfer you to the person that she knows can help you with that. So she's your resource finder person. She sells you stamps. She handles the dry cleaning services. She does faxes for you. She helps people with transportation requests. Before the COVID, we had guest quarters. She arranged the guest quarters for you.
That's right.
Manages our fire alarm system and priority calls when they come in. She'll call 911. She does things like that. So she does just a little bit of everything.
She does.
I can't even tell you the rest of it. It's a little bit of everything.
She does.
So that's what kind of gives her that title. So thank you for asking about that. This was a positive on Dana. They said she does so much, but is that what that title means?
Yeah, we're very
So,
blessed to have Dana at the front
Yes,
desk.
yeah,
She
very
does a great job.
fortunate. So thank you for that question. Okay, last one. It's about the clubhouse again.
Okay, we got a
Okay.
lot of clubhouse questions.
The clubhouse is beautiful,
Yes, it is.
but we have an issue with sunlight at certain times of the day. What is planned to fix this issue?
Yeah, so, you know, we've identified, our team up there has identified what windows are the issues, and so we have an interior designer that's helping us. We are getting ready to put on a sunshade kind of film over the windows in question.
Right.
And we're hoping that will deflect enough sunlight to where it'll take care of that problem.
Right, right.
And if it doesn't, we got Plan B and we got Plan C, but
We do.
we'll see if Plan A works first, so.
And I think we also had some shade options for the veranda area as well that we're looking at for golf ball protection.
Well, I was just going to
and-
say, I don't want to mislead anybody. The
That's-
shades are not really for, the shades that we're talking about for the veranda are not for sunlight blocking.
But the golf ball
It's
protection.
really more for golf
yeah.
ball blocking.
We've
'cause-
had that question that, could a golf ball hit me at the end of the veranda? And that's what the
well,
shades will be
and
to
it
help
is-
with.
As it is right now, it could.
Yes.
You know, once we put these protective shades
Right.
up, then that'll be the case. And we honestly, if it hadn't been for COVID-19, the shades would already be up.
Right.
The manufacturer that makes the shades for us stopped production
Right.
for about 2 months, and so we're
And now they're
behind
just
in
starting
getting
back
them.
up
So
again.
we're hoping that within the next couple of weeks, we'll have those shades up.
Okay, that was our last question.
Yay!
Woo!
Woo.
Now we're down to Ken.
A lot of golf balls flying everywhere.
Yes, there
No.
are. A lot of
I know.
beers all over the place, too, so.
I may start hitting the golf ball with my eyes open.
Oh, don't do that. That might ruin your shot.
Hey, I have some Dave Barry quotes.
Oh, I love Dave Barry.
Do you like Dave Barry?
I do. I love Dave Barry.
Oh, I hope these help you. It is inhumane, in my opinion, to force people who have a genuine medical need for coffee to wait in line behind people who apparently view it as some kind of recreational activity.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Cindy left.
Cindy
She would be one of those
left.
people
Yeah,
who
that
has
was a Cindy
She would've
medical
loved
need
that.
for coffee. Yeah.
She has a medical need for coffee.
she does.
Your hand and your mouth agreed many years ago that as far as chocolate is concerned, there is no need to involve your brain. Okay.
True.
Yes. All right. When trouble arises and things look bad, there is always one individual who perceives a solution and is willing to take command. Very often, that individual is crazy. Present company excluded.
Of course.
I love this one. I believe it was Shakespeare or possibly Howard Cosell who first observed that marriage is very much like a birthday candle, in that the flames of passion burn brightest when the wick of intimacy is first ignited by the disposable butane lighter of physical attraction. But sooner or later, the heat of familiarity causes the wax of boredom to drip all over the vanilla frosting of novelty and the shredded coconut of romance.
That's a mouthful.
That's deeply poetic.
That could not be Howard Cosell.
Now, dog lovers will like this one. You can say any fool thing to a dog, and the dog will just give you this look that says, "My gosh, you're right. I never would have thought of that." I can win an argument on any topic against any opponent. People know this and steer clear of me at parties. Often, as a sign of their great respect, they don't even invite me. As you get older, you probably notice that you tend to forget things. You'll be talking with somebody at a party, and you'll know that you know this person, but no matter how hard you try, you can't remember his or her name. This can be very embarrassing, especially if he or she turns out to be your spouse.
Oh.
Okay. I know we had the Olympics canceled this summer, so this would have been funnier. I love the Olympics because they enable people from all over the world to come together and, regardless of their political or cultural differences, accuse each other of cheating. Oh, and here's a golf-themed one. Although golf was originally restricted to wealthy, overweight Protestants, today it's open to anybody who owns hideous clothing. I have noticed that the clothing is very tame at River Landing.
I
mean,
agree.
hardly any like real loud plaids or anything like they used to
agree.
wear. We've
Yeah.
got to do something about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Karate is a form of martial arts in which people who have had years and years of training using only their hands and feet can make some of the worst movies in the history of the world. Okay. And I know that some of our residents will relate to this one. Buying the right computer and getting it to work properly is more complicated than building a nuclear reactor from wristwatch parts in a darkened room using only your teeth.
Wow. Scott Lottie would agree
Yeah,
with you
so
on
if
that
you're
one.
having trouble with your computer, you're not the only one.
Yeah.
I love it.
Last one.
Last one.
Scientists tell us that the fastest animal in the world, with a speed of 120 miles per hour, is a cow dropped out of a helicopter. Now, I would assume that
Whoa.
the helicopter was being flown by Chick-fil-A chickens. Don't you know, kind of a get-even thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes sense.
That's
Dave
awesome.
Barry. Thank you, Dave Barry.
I love his stuff. He's funny. Well, thank you for that. That was cool.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Okay, Lisa, so I think we're at birthdays,
Yes.
and my thing says C sheet. So there are either a lot of them, or you just didn't have time to list them all. I don't know which one it was.
There is quite a few of them, but I did run out of time, so I brought a supplemental sheet to go with this sheet. So, okay. We did miss Don Burke. He was on July 6th, so
All
I wanted
right.
to give a happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, Don.
And today is the 8th, right?
Today is the 8th.
Okay. So today's birthdays are P.D. Oswald, Rick English. That's it for today. And then tomorrow, because we won't be on the show tomorrow, is Libby Leonard, Bill Frakes, Florence Sutler, and Donald Park.
Wow.
Don Park.
All right.
So-
They've all told me they will accept $100 gift certificates anywhere.
Some of River Landing's finest there, that's for
yep,
sure.
a lot of great birthdays.
That's great.
So, okay, I think we're down to the trivia winner.
And I assume we have
Let me check my
one.
phone. We do have one. Okay, so the question from Howard Hansen was, what is the oldest national monument in the U.S.? And the answer is Devil's Tower. Oh, yeah.
Wyoming.
Oh, wow. Wow, and the winner actually read the rest that I'm going to tell you. The ultimate goal was to protect all historic and prehistoric sites on U.S. federal lands. President Theodore Roosevelt established the first national monument, Devil's Tower, in Wyoming on September 24th, 1906.
Wow.
So very cool. She must have read it from Google. That's where I got it from. So the winner is Kathy Rickard.
Oh, Kathy,
So
good.
congratulations. And the best part about this, Brian is so happy that we're having beer again because he likes to hide them. So,
He's giving special favors.
He goes to church with her, so he won't do that.
wow,
Wow.
wow. So Kathy, you get special treatment
Wow, I'll
here.
say.
That's right. Now, if he doesn't go to church with you, he's going to hide your winnings. So, Kathy,
The moral of that story is you need to go to church with Brian.
Or invite Brian to your church, one or the other.
oh, so congratulations, Kathy.
You know, I didn't put enough soapbox sand in this thing.
you
We're about
almost
to
did.
run out.
Look, we're close. We're close.
We're close.
Okay.
All right, rest of the week, rest of
Rest
the
of the
week.
week, tomorrow, Thursday, the original broadcast production, Hamilton, will be broadcast 3 p.m. 3 p.m. tomorrow. And Friday, the River Churns will be back on again.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll have some great questions and some clarifications and all that good stuff.
Sure.
So that's kind of what we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
Okay. Joke of the day. Are we going to have a joke off again?
I don't know, we're going to have a joke off there, Ken, or you got one you want to share?
I'll save it.
You'll save it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're almost out of sand.
We're almost out of sand? All right. Well, I've got one that I think I ought to read, right?
Okay.
It's a little cartoon, and Brian, you going to try and center in on it?
Okay, he's ready.
It's the bottom one. I don't know if you can get into there or not and see it.
Give
And
him
if
a
you
second.
can't, it's okay.
He might be able to. How close can you get, Brian?
Sorry, we're still getting used to the camera.
That's okay.
All right, so
Take
we're
your time.
testing it here, because we're almost out of
We
sand.
have an operational novice.
This
It's
is a
okay.
fine motor skill that you need to have, Ken, to
Yes.
be able to do this.
Yes.
So right now, we don't have a joystick yet, I don't think. So he's doing it all by arrows. Is that as close as we can get, I bet?
And even if you just show the
pretty
page,
good.
that's good enough at this point.
Okay, okay.
Okay, you got them both. So the top one says, I called the incontinence hotline. They asked, can you hold, please? And the bottom one says, instead of the John, I call my bathroom the gym. That way it sounds better when I say I go to the gym first thing every morning.
That's pretty good.
Those are cute.
Those are good.
Those are cute.
Yeah,
I like that
I like
one.
that.
So, I don't know if I should read the top one or not.
Can you hold, please?
A little old man shuffled slowly into an ice cream parlor and pulled himself slowly, painfully up onto a stool. After catching his breath, he ordered a banana split. The waitress asked kindly, crushed nuts? No, he replied, arthritis.
That's a Ken joke right there.
Yeah, Ken, I didn't vet that one through you first, Ken. All right, we're out of sand. That means we're out of
Okay.
time.
We're right on an hour.
You've
right on
wasted
out.
another hour with us. Thank you so much.
It's a good thing we're not doing these every day, right?
It's a really good thing.
Much better for them, but even for us that we're not doing these on a daily basis. But, we appreciate, it's funny, we do get a lot of comments about the show, and we know a lot of you like to watch. And I know now that we're back live again, it feels better to
It
me.
does. It's much
and-
better live.
And we know that we get a lot more people that are actually watching. So we hope you enjoyed the show today. We hope you learned a few things, and maybe some things that you learned that you want to forget today. I don't know, but we just, we want to make sure we tell you how much we love you all, and we're so glad you're part of the River Landing family. And let's just keep that positive spirit going here, okay? All right. Love you.
All out of time.